Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We've got a lot going on. Most of it all of a sudden. Let me put that decree in that I just talked about last time. No, I don't have the authority. Well, goodness. I can roll back some of this, some of these consumption taxes. That is no problem. Oh, because the king became unpopular. That's what happened. Alright, we're going to put that in Ile-de-France as well. Once the railway that's queued in down here gets built, we won't need that anymore. Alright. French Algiers raided. Marauders flying the flag of Mascara have raided our settlements in Algiers, slaughtering both a French garrison and several high-profile collaborators. It was a feint, sir. We thought we were chasing a small raiding party, as only some cattle had been reported as stolen, but the moment we entered the ravine, a cacophony of shouts and gunshots erupted. The captain was first to fall, and everything went to hell thereafter. From there on, it's just a haze of butchery and fire, sir. Rebuild, their day will come. This gives us a bunch of debuffs in the area. Or General Clausel is responsible. Yeah, okay, 2 arms. Call up a tribunal. Bertrand Clausel is a traditionalist. I don't think that's necessarily a problem for us, so I'm just going to say rebuild. Their day will come. And in fact, we're in a war with them already, so their day will come sooner rather than later. Monument to the King. A statue of Louis-Philippe d'Orléans was commissioned, and it has been suggested that it be displayed proudly in Alsace-Lorraine. Tactful is how you describe the look in the face of the statue when it smiles down on you, eyes that flicker in the opposite direction of the sun, though maybe you are just imagining it. A monument worthy of the king. This gives us 3% prestige for 5 years, makes 2% of all pops in Alsace-Lorraine radical, and increases the progress of the Orléanists by 10. Again, I'm not worried about Orléanist progress. They're not gaining progress every month. In fact, they're losing it. So that's not at all a concern. Perhaps not everybody wishes to be reminded of the king. This makes the petite bourgeoisie upset. I'm actually going to go with the first one. I like having a little extra prestige. And then finally, we have swirling discontent. With an upsurge in radicalism afflicting France, blame for the uncertainty facing the nation has fallen squarely on the shoulders of King Louis-Philippe d'Orléans and the Orleanist cause. France was no stranger to kingslaying, its revolutions carried out by fire and shot, and a tidal wave of seething fury unleashed all at once. Likewise, its rulers have come to know the warning signs well. A spiteful scowl here, and a murderous stare there. Tinder, waiting for the right match. The will of the people is fickle at best, gives the Orleanists minus 15% progress. Where the king's reign is worth some broken ribs, 2% of France becomes more radical, and increases the progress of the Orleanists. Decreases the progress of the Orleanists by 5 only. I'm going to go with the first one. I don't feel any need to concern myself with support for Orleanism at this time. How are we with the investment pool? We're doing fine. We're continuing to empty the investment pool. And that's all we can ask out of the investment pool. So that's good to go. Hopefully this will reduce... Do we have unemployment here? We don't. How much are we paying in subsidies right now? It's not subsidies, welfare payments. 5.56K, which is not nothing. So I'm hoping this will... I'm hoping this will boost up the standard of living for the lower strata in Ile-de-France. In fact, I think that decree all by itself might have actually made standard of living go up as a whole. So I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good overall. Gonna set us up to conquer Oran. I think we're just gonna have to get them to capitulate because that's the entire rest of Mascara. But that's just fine with us. We're continuing to build out the coffee industry at this point. Let's see if we can sell silk. We can sell silk to the British market. I think they were already importing our silk, but we'll continue to sell it out. We're working on these coffee plantations. So how's coffee looking overall? I know the French drink quite a bit of coffee. Okay, so consumption is keeping pace with production at this point. Probably because we're selling to the Ottoman Empire. Turkish pops have an obsession with coffee. So, or at least they mostly do. Yes, obsession with coffee. And that means that they drink basically as much coffee as you can sell them. That's a little bit of an exaggeration. Again, not making a claim about Turkish people, just that's the way the obsession mechanic works. I think the English are obsessed with tea as well, so I could sell that to them if I wanted as well. Conquest of Algeria is completed. And actually, that might be a good call. Good way to increase my agricultural sector. It's only Pondicherry where I can produce it, but I can produce it there. But if things go sideways with England, that'll make those places not very profitable, so maybe not. The Proclamation of Algiers. Standing on the deck of the Devastation, flagship of the Mediterranean Squadron, General Rey announces the end of large-scale military operations in Algeria. The colorful procession of troops slowly snakes its way along Algiers' waterfront. Brightly clad Zouaves march lockstep towards the anchored French vessels lining the harbor, carrying the torn battle standards of vanquished Algerian regiments. Behind them, lancers, regulars, and native tirailleurs follow suit. As Honoré Charles Rey gazes out on the vast assembly of French military might from his position on the aft deck, his thoughts are interrupted by a gentle clearing of the throat. It's the governor, sir. He wants to know what's next on the agenda. Today we salute the heroes of Africa. This makes a bunch of officers and servicemen loyalists, and makes the armed forces a lot stronger. 10% political strength, 10% interest group pop attraction, but it also gives the Orleanists 15 progress, and I do not want that. Subsidize companies to acquire farmlands for European settlers. This gives 50% extra migration attraction to those areas for 9 years, and gives the Legitimists 15 progress. Or, the rule of the saber is at an end. Contact the sheiks. This increases the progress of the Orleanists by 15%. Gives 2% of Amazigh and Maghrebi pops in all those areas instead. I'm going to do the second one. We're going to get some Legitimist progress, and that's really going to seal the deal. This gives us a bunch of claims on territories over where Morocco is. So we'll get to take over Morocco in good time. We also now have a very healthy lead on the Bonapartists of 60 points. And I think that basically that means that that means we're good to go. We've successfully expanded the agricultural sector to the point where they are where the Bonaparte and increased our progress ahead of them to the point where the Bonapartists will no longer be able to catch up. So I'm feeling extremely confident in the restoration of the Bourbon monarchy at this time. So, what else? I need to worry about this situation. No, I do not. This one's good to go. An agitator appears. To venerate mankind, Auguste Comte, a philosopher of the sciences at École Polytechnique in Ile-de-France, has published a treatise on the reorganization of society along positivist principles. Viewed from the moral, scientific, or poetical aspect, it is equally valuable, and it is the only principle which can bring humanity safely through the most formidable crisis that she has ever yet undergone. It will now be clear to all the force of demonstration, a force peculiar to modern times, and which still retains much of its destructive character, becomes matured and elevated by positivism. A curious boon to French academia, 15% stronger intelligentsia, or if he wishes to change society, he is welcome to try. He'll become an agitator. I wouldn't mind having a positivist taking up an agitator slot. In fact, it might be worthwhile. This guy is causing a lot of radicalism, asking for land reform. Let's boot him out of here. And then, here, why don't you start agitating for positivism? I'm not necessarily going that way, but we'll see. The fruits of industry. The prosperity of French trade has greatly benefited the wealthy patrons of the Orleanist cause. They've reinvested their funds in supporting their candidates' claims. Hey, there's Bessemer process. That's actually really going to help. I'm going to switch that over right away. Here we go. Bessemer process. It's going to cause us to output a bunch more steel, and that's going to be really valuable. Sorry. The prosperity of French trade has greatly benefited the wealthy patrons of the Orleanist cause. They have reinvested their funds in supporting their candidates' claims. The more things change, the more they stay the same. The barons of old held forges and fields. Today they hold machines and merchant warehouses. It makes no difference to a wise king which keys the barons keep, so long as the keys stay in the right hands. The king is the patron of French prosperity. 15 progress the Orleanists, and King Louis Philippe gets more popular. Our magnates deserve praise for their hard work. 10 progress, and the industrialists get more popular, or this bodes well for the Orleanist cause, 25% progress. I'm going to make the industrialists happier. 10 progress doesn't matter to me much. The Arab bureaus. Building on experiences made during the pacification of Algiers, General Clausel has requested the creation of a bureau staffed by ethnographers, orientalists, and intelligence officers to aid colonial authorities in their interactions with the native population. 2 years ago, you went into the interior looking for a better way to tame the land. Now you return, saying we must confine the Europeans and not the natives? My friend, you have spent far too much time outside the city walls. The sun must have frazzled your brain. Their skills will be instrumental in pacifying the land, reduced university throughput in Languedoc, but reduced radicals from discrimination. That's nice. Better understanding equals better exploitation. 10% wheat farm and livestock range throughput. Colonial brain drain still. Abolish this initiative, it would only impede our settlers, extra migration attraction, increased radicals from discrimination. I'm going to go with reduced radicals from discrimination. Radicals from discrimination are really going to cause turmoil in these places, and I don't like that. A scuffle of houses. Victor de Broglie, a devoted Orleanist, has carried out a series of verbal attacks and accusations of opportunism against the leading Legitimist cause. I presume you understand your summons today, monsieur. These delays have gone on long enough. Oh, of course, His Majesty's will be done, and with the utmost care and alacrity, but surely, given the history of our glorious nation, should it not be His Majesty's interest for his decrees to be accepted by all? We are not amused by your games, de Broglie. Urge him to be silent lest he escalate too far. Decrease the progress of the Legitimists by 15. Don't like that. Or a fiery and entertaining display. He gets a popularity penalty and decrease the progress of the Legitimists by 25. I'm just going to decrease it by 10. By 15 for now. That's not good for me, but because the Bonapartists are still continuing to gain. But we're closing in on 300 at this point, and that, I know, I see it, I don't like it. Alright, sorry, I'm just being childish now. But I think it will be very, I'm still confident in this situation. I might do that gamey thing and click off over to the Orleanists and then back to the Legitimists if I really felt concerned, but I'm pretty confident that I can continue to build up my agricultural industry fast enough that it's not going to matter. Let's see. So where else do we want to go? The Ottoman Empire's got another, say, actually more than 10 years before they lose Tunis. But I could steal Tunis from them. I could steal Sardinia from Piedmont. How much? I think relations with them are too good, actually, for that. Yeah, they are. But theoretically, it just in theory, how much infamy would it take? Piedmont and Provence I could get for 1.3. Sardinia I could get for 6.2. Oh, but I don't have a claim. So I need to conquer them. 15.6. Piedmont and Provence I could... I don't have a claim. So I need 3.4 to get that. I might just go ahead and grab Savoy away from Piedmont. Do I want to do that? Do I want to start damaging relations with my neighbor over this? I think I actually do. I'm gonna get some territory over here, and it's gonna be good. All right, so that's a project for later. I've got some claims. What can I can do a return state on Inner Morocco. I can colonize Inner Morocco. That one. Oh, right. Interesting. Hold on. Do these states technically have malaria? They don't. Hold on. So I can establish colonies in these zones. Only this one. Cool. Now what about Uleta? Uleta does have malaria, so I can't go there efficiently. So now what about? Do I have a claim here? I do have a claim here. And what about Arif? Arif, I do not have a claim. So I have to conquer Arif. And Marrakesh, I have a claim. So if I just grabbed Inner Morocco, that would be 4.5 infamy. And I think that's worth it. No one seems inclined, except for 2 Sicilies. Hold on. 2 Sicilies. Do you have a real... do you have a real army? Not one that can fight me, I don't think. Oh, interesting. This screen has better... more data in the new patch. Their position vis-a-vis the rest of the world. That's interesting. You know what? Yeah, I think I'm gonna steal a chunk of Morocco here. And if 2 Sicilies wants to stop me, they can do their best. So yeah. Return state. They will not accept. Fire away. Cool. I'm just going to mobilize the 1st and 2nd Army Corps to deal with this. I do not have a front with 2 Sicilies, but actually I'm going to send both corps, and I'm going to mobilize the 3rd Army and the Armée d'Afrique to remain in France. I'm going to move the 3rd Army to the Southern France HQ, and the Armée d'Afrique I'm actually going to have stay in the North Africa HQ. And we'll see how things go from there. I might need to raise some conscripts, but I don't think I will need to in this situation. So if 2 Sicilies tries to naval invade me, the 3rd Corps will be able to catch them. And then, if they indeed side with their allies, which it seems likely they will. They were allies, right? I'm not making that up? Yes, they have a defensive pact. And Morocco has defensive pact. I really should have checked that first. Only with 2 Sicilies. Alright. 2 Sicilies sides with Morocco. That's not a shocker. Nationalism unlocked. Excellent. So that's the... Oh, that's not the end of my tree. It was spreading to us. Alright, well that's a pretty good thing to spread to us. It gives me a little bit of extra authority, so let's go ahead and throw a consumption tax back in there. Once this railway in Ile-de-France is done being built, I can go ahead and decrease and remove that... Oh, Great Britain, why would you do this? Why would you... Nerds! These nerds! They are embargoing me. Okay, well that's fine. We don't need to be importing British motors. And British silk, I can definitely... Or, I was exporting silk to Britain. But that's fine. You can always find other people to export silk to when you're in Europe. In fact, the Portuguese aristocratic revolt will happily purchase it. Monaco backs down! Ah, mightier than the sword. What a cool achievement. So now I've got this territory, and everything is coming up Bourbon House. Let's go ahead and normalize production methods here. Kablam. And I finished out that railway, so I think I can go ahead and remove the decree. Great Britain sides with Portugal about that self-same aristocratic revolt. And infrastructure is good to go in Ile-de-France at this time. Alright, so I need to keep my eye on that, but basically as long as I'm being conscientious, it's not going to be a problem. We are at this point gaining progress faster than the Bonapartists, so we are going to get there before they do. At least I'm hoping so. I'm actually extremely confident. We're over 300 now, whereas they're just over 250. So unless they're able to cover almost twice as much ground as I am, which I don't think they're going to be able to, we're going to be in a good spot. If their progress gets faster than mine, I'll mess with the government to increase legitimacy, and that's going to cut our progress by a bit, but it'll buy us a little bit more time. And I think that math works out. No, I think that math only works out if I'm worried, but I'm confident at this point. Especially because we've been building up the agricultural sector pretty significantly. Well, this is really nice. We didn't even have to fight a war. We got a 5-year truce with Morocco, but I'm not really concerned with that. I think basically next time I can grab most of the rest of Morocco, and then everything's going to be great. So I'm feeling extremely confident overall. Intergovernment admin under construction. I'm going to... Oh, the heck. I'm going to throw that up to the top. We'll go ahead and build that. We'll build one of those. And after that, I think we'll get this railway in East Sahara built, and then we'll... Oh, things are going really rough there. Let's go ahead and use a suppression decree. Just to cut the penalty to construction by a bit, so that this doesn't end up taking like half a year. Alright, I think we might be able to make it there this... So let me see. We're going to get 50 more progress, and we're getting 3 per month. So that's going to take us about a year and a half. I think we'll go to the end of the year, and then we'll put a pin in the episode. Nothing else too wild is going on in Europe. I am continuing to reduce relations with Sardinia and Piedmont. Reduce relations goes really fast. I think I had in my head that reducing relations went the same speed that improving relations does, but it really doesn't. It's quite quick. All the nerds want presidential republic. Auguste Comte, why would you do this? Why would you... We're having a whole kerfuffle about the king, and here you are trying to say we shouldn't have a king. Stop it. Stop it. Why are you being such a Comte? Alright, there's pharmaceuticals. Sardinia Piedmont supports Italian unification. Yeah, I bet you do. I bet now that I'm coming for this tiny sliver of Provence, your support... Actually, that's not a tiny sliver of Provence. That's Annecy and Chambéry and Saint-Jean-de-Maurienne, as well as unnamed settlement. Yeah, that's a substantial amount of territory for them. And if I could also get Sardinia, I would be pleased as punch with that state of affairs. So I think a priority for me at this point might be increasing the size of the government and building myself a government that governs more. Because I think that will be... I don't know why I keep... I'm still looking at urban for those. It's been a long time since that rule changed, but I'm still going there. Do we have anywhere where we're low on tax cap? Aquitaine, we're a little short. French Low Countries, we could use a little bit more. Languedoc, Auvergne-Limousin, and Normandy are all locations where we can build up additional government admin. Because a lot of these institutions should be increased. Increasing education will strengthen the Catholic Church. Increasing home affairs, which I can't do yet, will be useful. And then getting colonization up will be effective. I think I'm going to go to charity hospitals at this time. This is going to make the industrialists a little salty, but it's going to continue to increase the power of the Catholic Church, which I do want. The industrialists are against it, and there's 10% stall chance as a result of that, but everything else is success or advance, so I'm extremely confident. And this will really cement the power of the Catholic Church. In fact, it is possible... No. I can't get to a theocracy while I'm currently a kingdom, because I'm in Europe. And a lot of the European religious interest groups like monarchy more than theocracy. If I go to republicanism first, I might be able to turn France into a holy kingdom. I have no idea what that would look like, but we'll see. We will indeed see. I think this is going a lot faster than I thought it was going to go. No, it isn't. I'm just silly. I'm just silly. That's the answer. That's the answer to your prayers. My silliness. That sentence all kind of got away from me. Supporting the British workers. We will support the workers of Great Britain, boosting the power of their trade unions. Maybe we believe in the international cause of the working man, maybe we don't. In the end, it doesn't matter. What matters is that the British trade unions get stronger. An excellent idea. 20%. But this would be for us, 20% interest group attraction. Or this would be ill-advised minus 10% interest group attraction. So how strong are the trade unions right now? 0.2%? I'm going to do the first one. 20% of 0.2 is still basically nothing. And strengthening the British trade unions might topple the government. I'm not saying they're going to topple the government. I'm just saying there's a chance. There's a chance they will topple the government. And if they topple the government, I'll be very happy about that. Continuing to colonize. What if I stole Ghana? 11.3 infamy. I could do it. I could do that. In any case, though, it's the end of the year, and I said I was going to have us be done at the end of the year, so there you go. We are basically about to cross the finish line here. We've outpaced the Bonapartists, who are our primary rivals. The Orleanists are not even close. I originally thought the Legitimists would be the hardest of the divided monarchy runs, but I'm starting to think that might not necessarily be the case, given the number of events and weird things that make the Orleanists more likely to, lose points. So I think I may be revising my estimates of the difficulty of the various factions. We are still going to do the Orleanists at a later point. Obviously, if you're new here, we've already done a full and even extended run of Bonapartist France, which you can feel free to take a look at elsewhere in the channel. But that's going to be it for today. At the end, we'll finish out and we'll start. And once this track gets done, we'll finish consolidating our rule. And at that point, I'll kick the industrialists out of the government, and then we can have a real solid monarchy and just generally be strong. But for the moment, I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.